One of the great features of Edge Animate is that it can give us access to all of the code that it's going to write for our entire project. So here we have a simple project. I'll hit the spacebar to preview this. We have an apple that drops on the stage. We have 2 actions assigned to the apple as well. To get to the actions, let's come over and select the apple on the stage. Right click and come down to Open Actions for Red Apple. In this code window here, this is a code window that only has access to the individual elements assigned to the object on the stage. So we can see the 2 events here, mouse out and mouse over. Now I can't get access to anything else in the project, but I can get access to just that element that's selected. So let's close this window, let's deselect the apple, and instead let's come up to the window menu and choose Code. Now this code window has a few more elements inside of it than we saw with the code window that's specific to an element. First, you'll see these items on the left-hand side. We see an element for the stage and for preload with 2 actions assigned to the stage. And if we look at these, we can see that these are redapple.mouseout and redapple.mouseover. Selecting each one of these will give me the same script that we saw in the much smaller dialog box specifically designed for that element. Now on the right-hand side, we see this little plus sign here, which will toggle open the snippets. And then lastly, this button here called Full Code. So here we can see all of the code that Edge will execute when this loads in a browser. Starting off with the generic function that encapsulates the entire project. And if I scroll down, we can see individual elements. First, we see the red apple mouse over here. And what's interesting is when we use the assign actions on the stage and get our smaller code window, we only see this amount of code. What Edge is actually writing for the mouse over is all of this code here. So again, if we're inside of the stage and just say, look at actions for that element, we just see this little bit of code here. Down from mouse out, again, we would just see this little bit of code. But in this full code view, Edge will show us everything that it's programming. And if we scroll down to the bottom, we'll see down here, this is the unique stage ID that we looked at earlier on in the course, where Edge actually uses this to target the main stage of this composition to start the entire project. And in both this larger view and the smaller view, we do have these options in the upper right-hand corner here, where we can do things like show line numbers, change font size, and choose whether or not we would like comments inside of our code snippets. Now these comments are a way that Edge Animate will give us some notes or instructions on how to use individual actions that we've assigned to our objects, and help us develop the user experience that we're trying to achieve. Now the comments don't hurt the JavaScript file at all to be in here, and once you get comfortable with JavaScript and jQuery, you can turn off the commenting and then keep your code windows a little more clean.